What if I told you that eating 3 to 4 eggs every single day might completely change the way your body works, for better or worse? Because behind that simple breakfast lies a fascinating balance between nutrition and risk. Today, we'll uncover what really happens inside your body when you make eggs a daily habit, how they can strengthen your heart, sharpen your mind, and even raise some hidden concerns you should never ignore. Let's begin with something simple. An egg. A small, ordinary thing that most of us have in our kitchen. Yet inside this humble shell lies a story far more complex than most people realize. For years, eggs have been praised as a complete food, then suddenly blamed as a cause of heart disease, and then, once again, restored as one of nature's finest nutritional packages. But what actually happens when you decide to eat 3 or 4 of them every day? What changes inside your body, quietly, consistently, over time? When you eat an egg, the first thing that happens is digestion. The protein in the egg white, mostly albumin, begins breaking down into amino acids, feeding every part of your body, your muscles, your skin, even your brain cells. Protein from eggs is considered one of the highest quality proteins available because it contains all the essential amino acids your body needs but cannot make. So, when you're eating eggs daily, your body is continuously supplied with the perfect building blocks for repair and regeneration. You might notice better recovery after exercise, perhaps even improved strength and muscle tone if you're physically active. For older adults, this becomes especially important as maintaining muscle mass after 60 can be a real challenge. Then there's the yolk, a golden center that's often misunderstood. This is where most of the nutrients live. Inside it, you'll find choline, a powerful compound essential for brain health. Choline helps build acetylcholine, one of the most important neurotransmitters for memory and focus. When people start eating eggs regularly, many actually notice subtle changes, clearer thinking, better recall, a calmer mood. It's not dramatic, but it's steady, like giving your brain the fuel it quietly craves every morning. But of course, the yolk also contains cholesterol, and this is where the conversation gets more interesting. For decades, we were told cholesterol in food equals cholesterol in the blood, and cholesterol in the blood equals heart disease. Simple, frightening, and easy to understand. But the body, as always, is far more intelligent than that. When you consume cholesterol, your liver simply adjusts. It produces less. The body maintains a balance, a kind of internal negotiation. For most healthy people, eating 3 or 4 eggs daily doesn't cause a dangerous rise in blood cholesterol at all. In fact, many studies have shown that the ratio of good to bad cholesterol may actually improve because eggs tend to raise HDL, the good cholesterol that protects your arteries. However, that's not the whole story. Some individuals, called hyper-responders, do see a more significant rise in LDL cholesterol. This depends on genetics, liver function, and overall diet quality. If the rest of your diet is heavy in saturated fats or processed foods, adding multiple eggs daily could tilt that balance in the wrong direction. So, it's not just the eggs themselves, it's what you eat with them that truly matters. Fry them in butter every morning alongside bacon, and the effect is very different than boiling them and pairing them with vegetables or oats. Inside your bloodstream, after a meal rich in eggs, the fats and cholesterol are packaged into lipoproteins, tiny transport vehicles that move through your arteries. These particles interact with the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. If that lining is inflamed or damaged, cholesterol can start to accumulate there. That's how plaques begin to form. But if the endothelium is healthy, supported by exercise, hydration, and a diet rich in antioxidants, cholesterol passes smoothly through without causing harm. So, eating eggs daily isn't dangerous by itself. It's about the overall environment you create inside your body. And this brings us to another crucial point, the micronutrients in eggs. Every time you eat one, you're getting a combination of vitamins A, D, E, B12, riboflavin, folate, selenium, and zinc. These nutrients don't just support general health, they interact in complex ways to maintain immune balance, hormone production, and even cellular repair. Vitamin D, for example, is fat-soluble and works best when consumed with natural fats like those in the yolk. It helps regulate calcium absorption, strengthens bones, and supports immune defense. So 3 to 4 eggs daily can actually contribute significantly to your vitamin D intake, especially if you live in areas with little sunlight. Meanwhile, antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin found in egg yolks are critical for eye health. They accumulate in the retina, protecting it from damage caused by blue light and oxidative stress. People who eat eggs regularly tend to have lower rates of age-related macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss in older adults. These are small, invisible benefits that accumulate quietly, day after day, year after year. But balance, again, is everything. Eating 4 eggs daily means roughly 24 grams of protein, a good amount of fat, and around 280 calories. That's not an issue for someone active, but for someone sedentary, it could contribute to excess calorie intake, especially if eggs are part of an already energy-dense diet. The trick is to think of eggs as nutrient packages, not as indulgences. They can fit beautifully into almost any diet, Mediterranean low-carb, even plant-focused, but moderation is key. Now, let's talk about something most people overlook: how eggs affect the gut. Eggs contain sulfur-containing amino acids, particularly methionine and cysteine. When digested, these compounds can produce hydrogen sulfide, a gas that, in small amounts, supports gut health by protecting the mucosal lining. But in excess, or in individuals with certain gut imbalances, it might contribute to bloating or odor. However, when eaten as part of a balanced diet, eggs can actually help maintain a healthy microbiome because the proteins and nutrients they provide support beneficial bacterial activity indirectly. There's also the question of how your body handles repeated exposure. When you eat something daily, the immune system sometimes reacts if there's an intolerance. While true egg allergies are rare in adults, mild sensitivities can occur, often seen as slight fatigue, skin irritation, or digestive discomfort. If that happens, the issue isn't the egg itself, but the immune system's reaction to specific proteins, usually in the white. Rotating foods and paying attention to how you feel can help prevent that kind of response. Now consider the energy response. Many people who start eating eggs every morning report better energy levels throughout the day. The reason is stability. Eggs have almost no refined carbohydrates, so they prevent the blood sugar spikes and crashes caused by sugary breakfasts. The combination of protein and fat gives a slow, steady release of energy, keeping you full for hours. This helps reduce cravings, making it easier to maintain a healthy weight. In fact, several people who switch from cereal to eggs in the morning naturally start eating less throughout the day. Not by force, but because the hunger hormones stay balanced. At the metabolic level, daily egg consumption can slightly boost thermogenesis, the body's process of generating heat and burning calories after eating. This means your metabolism gets a small but consistent nudge each day. It's not dramatic, but over time it adds up. Combine that with physical activity, and eggs can play a real role in maintaining a healthy weight or even losing fat. But what about the liver? The liver plays a central role in processing the fats and cholesterol from eggs. When you eat 3 or 4 daily, your liver works efficiently to manage that load. For most people, this isn't an issue. In fact, the choline in eggs helps prevent fat accumulation in the liver, a condition known as fatty liver disease, which is increasingly common today. Regular egg intake, paradoxically, can help the liver stay lean and functional, as long as your overall diet is clean. Still, there are some people who might need caution. Those with severe insulin resistance, uncontrolled diabetes, or familial hypercholesterolemia may find that daily eggs push their lipid levels too high. In such cases, moderation, perhaps 1 or 2 eggs daily, is more appropriate. This is why regular checkups matter. When you monitor your lipid profile and liver enzymes, you can see exactly how your body responds to dietary changes. Food isn't the same for everyone, and eggs are a perfect example of that. Let's step back for a moment. Imagine you've been eating 3 or 4 eggs every day for 6 months. What would you notice? You'd likely see improvements in muscle tone, mental clarity, and overall satiety. You'd probably notice fewer sugar cravings, and your mornings might feel steadier, calmer. Your blood work might show higher HDL levels, stable triglycerides, and possibly improved markers of liver health. You might also notice smoother skin and stronger nails, both subtle signs of improved nutrient status. But if your diet elsewhere is poor, full of fried foods, trans fats, and processed meat, then even eggs can't undo that damage. Nutrition always works in context. Eggs also connect us to something deeply human. They've been part of human diets for thousands of years, long before industrial foods or nutritional controversies. In many cultures, an egg represents renewal, life, and balance. Perhaps that's because, nutritionally, it truly holds everything needed to create new life: protein, fat, vitamins, minerals, and essential fats. When you eat one, you're essentially consuming a perfectly balanced biological system, designed by nature to sustain growth and energy. And yet, it's easy to overdo it. 4 eggs daily may be perfectly fine for one person, but excessive for another, depending on age, activity level, and health status. The body is incredibly adaptable, but it always seeks balance. Listen to it. If you start to feel heavy after meals or notice changes in digestion, perhaps reduce the number. If you feel energized and stable, it's a sign your body is using them well. Cooking methods also matter more than most people realize. A poached or boiled egg keeps the nutrients intact without adding unnecessary fats. Frying in oil repeatedly can introduce oxidized compounds, which your body then has to detoxify. So the way you prepare your eggs determines whether they become a source of healing or harm. Simple, gentle cooking preserves the delicate fats and proteins that make eggs so valuable. In the end, the real story of eating 3 or 4 eggs every day isn't about a single nutrient or headline. It's about understanding how food interacts with your body, moment by moment, and adapting based on what your body tells you. The egg is neither a villain nor a miracle. It's a tool, one that, when used wisely, can enhance health in remarkable ways. But as with every tool, it depends on the hand that wields it. So if you choose to make eggs a daily habit, do it consciously. Pair them with fresh vegetables, whole grains, or healthy fats like olive oil. Keep the rest of your diet clean, move your body, and drink water. Under those conditions, the simple act of eating eggs every morning can become part of a much larger story, the story of balance, awareness, and nourishment that truly sustains you from the inside out. Now imagine that this routine continues for a year. Every morning, 3 or 4 eggs, prepared carefully, maybe boiled or poached, perhaps scrambled with a handful of vegetables. The days blend together, and inside your body something subtle yet profound is taking place. Your metabolism has adapted. Your hormones, once fluctuating with sugar highs and caffeine lows, are steadier now. Your pancreas releases insulin more efficiently, your blood sugar remains balanced, and your energy curve throughout the day becomes smoother, more predictable. You may not notice it at first. It doesn't happen overnight. But gradually, you begin to feel it in small, unmistakable ways. The afternoon fatigue softens, your cravings reduce, and your concentration holds longer. Inside your bloodstream, the daily presence of phospholipids and omega-3 fats from the egg yolks is quietly reshaping the fluidity of your cell membranes. Every cell in your body, from neurons to muscle fibers, depends on the integrity of its membrane to function properly. When those membranes are made of healthy, flexible fats, signals move faster, nutrient transport improves, and inflammation remains in check. The body becomes more efficient, not in a dramatic, mechanical way, but like a well-tuned orchestra, each section responding in harmony. And then there's your heart. This is where so much of the misunderstanding about eggs is centered. The old fear of cholesterol has been deeply ingrained, a story told for generations. Yet what modern understanding reveals is that cholesterol isn't inherently harmful. It's essential. Every cell needs it to produce hormones, vitamin D, and bile acids. It's the balance that matters. With consistent egg intake, your HDL, the high-density lipoprotein, rises, acting as a scavenger that collects excess cholesterol and brings it back to the liver for recycling. Over time, this mechanism becomes more efficient, reducing the burden on your arteries. But the process depends on context. If your daily life involves stress, lack of sleep, smoking, or minimal movement, the same cholesterol particles behave differently. Under stress and inflammation, they can become oxidized, sticky, reactive, capable of clinging to artery walls. That's why lifestyle cannot be separated from diet. The eggs themselves are neutral. It's the environment inside your body that determines the outcome. Imagine your arteries as quiet highways. If traffic is well regulated, everything moves smoothly. But add inflammation caused by chronic stress or poor diet, and suddenly those highways develop congestion and blockages. Over months, as your liver processes the fats from those daily eggs, it continues to perform its balancing act, producing less cholesterol when more is consumed. Meanwhile, the choline content in eggs supports fat metabolism, preventing the liver from storing excess triglycerides. This single nutrient, often overlooked, becomes a quiet protector against non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, one of the fastest-growing health issues worldwide. People who include eggs regularly within a balanced diet often show improved liver enzyme profiles, evidence of a body operating more efficiently beneath the surface. And then there's the brain, a system that never stops consuming energy. It runs almost exclusively on glucose, but its structure is made largely of fat. Every nerve cell relies on phosphatidylcholine and sphingomyelin, compounds derived directly from nutrients found in eggs. When your diet consistently provides these materials, neural transmission becomes more reliable. Memory, focus, and even emotional regulation improves subtly over time. You might not notice it until one day you realize you're thinking a bit clearer, your conversations flow more easily, and your reactions feel more stable. This is how nutrition truly works, quietly, cumulatively, invisibly building resilience until it becomes obvious in your daily life. Meanwhile, your hormones are shifting too. The cholesterol in eggs is the raw material for steroid hormones, estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, and progesterone. When cholesterol intake is adequate, the body doesn't need to strain to produce these hormones. For men, this can mean more stable testosterone levels and improved muscle maintenance. For women, particularly post-menopausal, it can mean better hormone balance and energy stability. The effects are not pharmaceutical, they're physiological, gentle but real. Over time, you also begin to see eggs influencing the way your body manages inflammation. Inside the yolk are compounds called phosphatidylcholine and carotenoids, which play roles in reducing oxidative stress. Inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein often drop in people who eat eggs regularly as part of a nutrient-rich diet. That's because these compounds help maintain cell membrane health and reduce the damage caused by free radicals. The body begins to operate in a state of quiet efficiency, less reactive, more adaptive. Now, picture someone older, perhaps in their 60s or 70s, choosing to eat eggs daily. Their metabolism has slowed, muscle mass has declined, and nutrient absorption isn't what it once was. For them, those eggs become far more than breakfast. They're a kind of daily medicine. The high-quality protein helps preserve lean tissue. The vitamin B12 supports nerve function, reducing the risk of neuropathy. The vitamin D helps maintain bone density, working alongside calcium to keep the skeletal structure strong. And the choline, once again, supports cognitive protection, a buffer against age-related decline. For many older adults, incorporating eggs daily can literally mean the difference between slow loss of vitality and active, engaged living. However, it's equally important to recognize when the balance tips the other way. Eating too many eggs without adjusting the rest of your diet can increase total calorie intake, leading to slow weight gain. If those calories exceed what your body uses, the excess will store as fat. This becomes noticeable around the waistline first, a quiet reminder that even healthy foods can become unhelpful in excess. It's never about demonizing a food, but understanding proportion. The body thrives on balance, not repetition without awareness. And there are subtler effects too. When you consume eggs daily, your digestive system becomes accustomed to their rhythm. The stomach anticipates the protein load, the pancreas releases the enzymes to break them down, and your bile adjusts to emulsify the fats. This rhythm supports metabolic stability. But if other aspects of your diet are missing, such as fiber from fruits and vegetables, your digestion can slow. Constipation, for instance, can become more common if eggs dominate your meals but plants are left out. It's another reminder that no single food, no matter how complete, should exist in isolation. Let's walk for a moment into the laboratory of the body, your bloodstream after a morning meal of eggs. The proteins break into amino acids, forming enzymes, antibodies, and tissue structures. The fats are packaged into lipoproteins and distributed for energy and repair. The vitamins and minerals travel to organs, supporting hundreds of chemical reactions. It's a coordinated effort, silent but relentless, occurring billions of times each second. That is what you sustain when you feed your body well. But not everyone experiences this harmony. For a small group of people with specific genetic traits, such as variations in the APO gene, the body doesn't handle cholesterol efficiently. For them, 3 or 4 eggs daily could lead to higher LDL levels that may increase cardiovascular risk. In those cases, moderation or medical guidance is essential. The key lesson is that nutrition isn't one size fits all, it's personal, genetic, adaptive. The same food that heals one person can challenge another. There's also the broader environmental and ethical dimension. As people turn to eggs for daily nourishment, questions arise about sourcing and quality. The nutritional value of an egg is directly influenced by the diet and health of the hen that laid it. Free-range or pasture-raised eggs, for instance, contain more omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and antioxidants than those from caged hens. So when we talk about the health effects of eating eggs, we're also indirectly talking about farming systems, soil quality, and animal welfare. The health of the human body is inseparable from the health of the food ecosystem that sustains it. Now let's return to the body one last time, to the blood vessels, the heart, the brain, the liver, all of them shaped by daily repetition. Over a year, the regular intake of 3 or 4 eggs builds a kind of nutritional rhythm. The body adapts, optimizes, and in most cases benefits. Your immune cells become more resilient, your tissues regenerate more effectively, and your brain maintains sharper communication between neurons. Yet, this benefit remains conditional. It depends on the rest of your choices, how you move, how you rest, and what else you eat. Because nutrition isn't just chemistry, it's behavior. The act of preparing those eggs each morning, sitting down to eat rather than rushing, signals something to the body. That nourishment is a deliberate act, not an accident. This ritual shapes not only your biology, but also your relationship with food. It turns eating into something intentional. That psychological consistency reinforces physiological balance. There's a quiet truth that emerges when we look closely enough. Health isn't the result of isolated choices, but of accumulated patterns. A year of 3 or 4 eggs daily won't transform you overnight, but it will slowly recalibrate your system towards stability. Your blood markers may improve, your focus may sharpen, your energy may smooth out. These are the subtle signs of equilibrium. And that's the real lesson here, that food, when understood, becomes medicine in the purest sense. As we reach the end of this journey through something as simple as an egg, we see how one small choice can ripple through every system in the body. It affects how we think, move, feel, and age. The science behind it is complex, but the principle is simple. When you nourish yourself with awareness, your body responds with gratitude. Eating 3 or 4 eggs every day might not be for everyone, but for many, it can be part of a pattern that supports vitality, clarity, and longevity. The real challenge isn't about whether eggs are good or bad, it's about understanding yourself, your body, your needs. That's the quiet art of nutrition. Listen carefully, adjust gently, and your body will tell you what works. And in that daily rhythm, the soft crack of a shell, the gentle heat of the pan, the familiar scent rising in the morning light, you'll find not just food, but a conversation between your choices and your biology. A conversation that, when guided by awareness and balance, becomes one of the most powerful tools for lifelong health.